This is a podcast about one woman's mission to help entrepreneurs and business owners write better business books. Each week, we tackle your writing excuses, because there are excuses too, and help you beat the blank page of doom so that you can write the book that'll grow your life and your business. Now here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Hello and welcome to the 1000 Authors Show. I'm Vicky Fraser and this is my husband Joe.
Hello.
Hello. So you should totally go and check out the YouTube channel because we've just set up my brand new ring light, which is what all of the makeup YouTubers use. And we're looking, we're looking very kind of
warm,
cheekbony. That was really good radio.
Yeah.
Really good radio. That was me and Joe making ourselves have really good cheekbones. No, you can't do that.
I know, sorry.
That's really squeaky. And I can't move either because I'm not wearing any trousers. Because it's currently hotter than the surface of the sun.
It's like 28 degrees or something.
We're waiting for a massive thunderstorm to hit.
It's Monday afternoon.
It's Monday the 10th of August for 5:15 p.m. And anybody in the UK will remember back to Monday and be like, oh, yeah, that was a hot one. That was a hot one.
Very hot.
Yeah, you need to stay in frame, Joe.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. So yeah, we are drinking, I'm drinking water today and Joe is foolishly not drinking anything. Actually, I've got hardly any water left because I just fed it all to my aloe vera plant. We're not very prepared.
Not very prepared on this one, I'm afraid. It's going to be rough. Buckle up.
So, this episode of the 1000 Authors Show, we're carrying on the Writing Excuses series.
Kinda.
And this writing excuse is actually that's entirely the wrong title. It's, what if people make fun of me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we'll come back to that in just a moment because, first of all, Joe, what are you reading?
Well, listeners will be excited to hear that I am no longer reading The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan.
What?
I know, right? I am now reading The Wheel of Time by Brandon Sanderson because Robert Jordan died.
That's not funny.
Which is very sad.
Yeah.
But he died, leaving notes for the final book for somebody else to complete in 2007. And when the people, Brandon Sanderson, who was called in by the family to finish off the series, looked at the notes, they very quickly came to the conclusion that it was, in fact, 3 more books.
Okay.
So that's where we're up to at the moment.
Right, thanks for that update, Joe.
I know, it's exciting. It's a big change.
But Joe is actually, when he's finished that, is probably going to start reading the book that I've just finished, because it's on his bedside table, The Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. And it's brilliant. Octavia E. Butler is also dead, which is very sad. And she wrote some of the best sci-fi and fantasy that I've ever read. And I'm always really excited to find a new to me author who writes that kind of thing. And so this is set in a dystopian future and where society has collapsed, frighteningly similar to what's going on right now with like Trump and that kind of thing. And you can you read it and you can almost imagine and it's set in 2025 as well, which is horrifying. But yeah, it's the breakdown of society, and it's about this young girl who is growing up in... I wonder if the people who wrote The Walking Dead kind of watched it, actually, because it's not zombies.
When was it written?
80s? Early 80s?
Okay.
70s? So yeah, it was in like the near future back then, but like the frightening...
The really near future, yeah.
Yeah, it's a brilliant book. Parable of the Sower. I'm about to start reading The Parable of the... the next one, anyway.
Harvester?
No.
Grower?
No. It'll come to me. Anyway, I think she originally wrote it as a trilogy, but I think she might have died before she could finish it.
There's an awful lot of dead authors in this first section.
Anyway, so that's I've literally just finished reading that, but I thought I'd talk about that one because I haven't read enough of the next one yet to really talk about it.
Okay.
And non-fiction, I've just finished reading Invisible Women by Caroline Criado Perez, and I am now consumed by the sacred righteous rage. And you're going to read that next, aren't you?
Yes.
And you are going to take up the good feminist sword and fight the good fight for us and with us.
Okay.
Because it's all about exposing gender bias in data and like the massive gap. It's proper rage, like just the absolute state of the world. Anyway, so yeah, you're going to read that, and you're going to be a marvelous ally for women and basically everybody who isn't a rich white man.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
It'll be awesome, because we need you. Because we can't. It's really difficult for people who are trodden on by power structures to change those power structures without burning everything to the ground. And
always an option.
Well, it was always an option, yeah. But we need people who have the power to, use some of that power to make everything fairer. Because at the moment, the world is bullshit.
In what sort of way? Give us an example. What are you talking about?
Okay, so, here is a niggly example that you might think, oh, well, stop complaining. When people designed architecture and houses and supermarkets, they designed it based on the average human. The average human is a 6-foot man, which is why women can't reach the top shelves in supermarkets and why cupboards and kitchens are too tall for most of us, and why kitchen work surfaces aren't at a great height. And get this right, in some places, like after disaster rebuilding, the people who suffer, by the way, most in disasters are women, and they're also the ones who do most of the rebuilding, and they're also the ones who are not consulted at all. So believe it or not, when they were rebuilding a bunch of houses after things like Hurricane Katrina and after the Boxing Day tsunami, a bunch of houses were built without kitchens in them because men designed them, and kitchen work is women's work. I'm not even kidding. You couldn't make it up, right? When crash test dummies are used to test cars, they use male crash test dummies until, 15, 20 years ago or something. By the way, it's still not law that you have to use female crash test dummies. But when they thought, maybe we should test on women, they scaled down the male one. Not taking into account bone density, different body shapes, all the rest of it. So actually cars are dangerous to women, and safety measures put in place are actively dangerous to women because they are not designed with our bodies in mind. So that's fun. Nice. So that's just a few examples. And then you get to like testing drugs on the default human, which is men, white men, by the way, not just men, but white men. So yeah, it's all a bit enraging, and yeah. So we need you to read this and start correcting. I know, and I assume that face is like incredulous.
It's kind of incredulous. I think you're possibly also attributing me with more power than I have, but
even just being aware of it and then making little changes, like stuff like you work in engineering, and engineering is traditionally male. It's really difficult for women to get involved. And I think you said before, women don't apply for the job. And my reaction is, that's your fault, because you don't design job adverts and make it look like a place where women would be welcome. If all women see on a company's website is pictures of white men, that's not welcoming. It's not a place where women would think, I could apply for that job. The language that you use in adverts, believe it or not, will put off women, which is why I'm like, give me your job adverts before you put them out. Run them by me, and I will make it more likely that women will apply.
Next time we've got a job advert, you're welcome to it.
Thank you. So yeah, little things like that. And it's like, you don't have to make massive changes in the world right now. It's little things that make the difference because they add up.
Okay.
So yeah.
I will read the book.
Yes, thank you. Anyway, so that's all that. Quarantine Chronicles. Because, the pandemic hasn't gone away despite the behaviour of a lot of people. So what have we been up to? We have accidentally grown giant marrows. We
started off growing courgettes, and then we just basically couldn't keep up with eating the courgettes. There's only by the time you're eating like 10 courgettes a week, you're kind of like, I can't keep up here. So some of the courgettes got a little bit left, and now we have ginormous marrows.
But normally you notice, but this one, we should have brought it in as show and tell. It's almost as tall as me.
It's like a
club. It's a weapon.
It's like a 4.5 foot of marrow.
It's ridiculous. We also have discovered that Joe tastes great.
Well, I was thinking about this. I think it's lime. I think lime tastes great.
They do chew the lime off
shoes and things.
Shoes and things, yeah.
Yeah. So we've been doing some work on the house, and on a very hot day, we were smashing out stuff and liming things and using cork and doing all kinds of good things to the house. And I sat down in the sheep field, which is a very calm, soothing place to be, and got resoundingly licked
You're really licked. There's a video somewhere. If anyone wants to see the video, email me and I will send you a link to the video, which is on my Instagram at treefrogtoe.
Just licked by sheep. It was a bit gross, to be honest.
Oh, it was really funny. He was like, I've got this video of him and he was just like... And then he had this look on his face like he was drunk. He was like, oh, this is really nice. And just like... It was really cute. Anyway, on to writing excuses. The Writing Excuses series. Maybe not excuses, but writing excuses sounds better and more pithy than totally legitimate reasons people give me for not writing their book.
Okay.
So this week's excuse is, what if people make fun of me?
Okay.
For my book. Like, what if people make fun of the book I've written?
What if people ridicule my book?
Yeah. And I understand this one because it's something that I fear every single day. So let's talk about it. Okay. First of all, I would like to ask you a question, dear reader, if this is something that... No, listener. If this is something that worries you. Who are you worried will make fun of you?
Peers? Family?
Other people in your industry?
Competition?
Other writers? Your friends?
Yeah.
Your clients and potential clients?
Possibly.
Cool. Okay, only 2 people in that group matter. Who do you think they are?
Potential customers.
And customers.
And customers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that all of those other people don't matter as human beings. They obviously matter as human beings. But as people who have an opinion of your book, they don't matter. So, yeah. Nobody else's opinion matters. Their opinions are not valid.
Does the list of valid opinions vary by reasons you wrote your book?
What do you mean?
Well, if I was writing a book to become a thought leader...
Yes.
Or if I was... I know. If I was writing my book as to educate people.
Well, who are you educating?
Oh, I don't know. There are different reasons I might write that book, aren't there? And the people who are important are probably only the people who that book is pointed at.
Yeah. That's kind of what I meant by your clients and potential clients, but you are right. It is your reader. Your reader. Only the reader's opinion matters. So, for example, if you give the book to your mum to read and your mum's like, oh, I don't really like that. I don't really like that part and I don't like the language. Then you can be like, okay, mum, thanks very much. Bye. And her opinion doesn't matter. Her opinion on this particular thing doesn't matter.
No.
Unless your mum is the target reader.
I suppose your mum could be your target audience.
Yeah. And if that's the case, if your mum is your target audience, or your dad, or your brother, or your best mate. But even then, I would say, you know what? If they make fun of you, that's mean. I can't imagine my good friends or anyone in my family making fun of my book. They might not like it.
They might not get it.
They might not get it, but they wouldn't ridicule me.
No.
And certainly not in public. So if you are worried that somebody will make fun of you and one of those people is friends and family, then I would maybe question how much time you want to spend with those people in the future. If you're worried that your competitors might make fun of you, again, why do you care? The book is not for you, and I guarantee that they won't be writing a book, and it's really easy to stand on the sidelines and make fun of people who are actually in the ring doing the work.
Yeah.
And so again, I would say, unless you're actually in there doing the work, writing a book, doing stuff that's scary, because writing a book is scary and putting it out there is even scarier. If people are out there on the sidelines not doing any of those things and then making fun of you, just give them the finger and carry on. Honestly, and I know that sounds much easier said than done, but remember that you're the one doing the work and putting the stuff in there, and they're not your target reader. They're not going to be the ones who read your book and think, oh, that person sounds great, I want to work with them. If they're not paying you money or enhancing your life in any way,
sack them off.
Yeah, they don't matter. And quite often, if your competitors are ridiculing you for that sort of thing, they're going to have their own agenda. You know, they're going to be doing that to help make themselves feel big and elevate themselves. And actually what it does is have the opposite effect. If you think about how you feel about people who talk behind your back, like you don't trust them because you're like, well, if you're talking about that person behind their back to me, then what are you saying about me behind my back? And you also, it makes people look small.
Yeah, it's a terrible look.
Yeah, so if people are, don't let them get on with it. Don't even worry about it. So that's a couple of things. And the second thing that I wanted to suggest was do Brené Brown's Post-it note exercise.
Hi, Brené.
Hi, Brené. Wouldn't that be so awesome? One day I'm going to get her to come on the podcast. I'm going to ask her real nicely.
Nice. Why haven't you?
The fear.
Get over it.
What if she ridicules me? She would totally say, dude, get on with it. So yeah, the post-it note exercise. Write on a post-it note the names of the few people whose opinions really matter to you. So it might be your favourite client who's going to read the book. Just yawn.
I'm not going on.
It might be your editor, the person who's helping you write your book. It might be your book mentor. Me, maybe. My opinion matters. I will never ridicule you, by the way. I have never ridiculed any of my clients.
Good.
I would never do that. It might be somebody who has written a book whose opinion you really value, and who is like, oh, you know what? Maybe I could make it better. You know?
Again, hi, Brenny.
Yeah. So yeah, do the post-it note exercise. People whose opinions actually are valid when it comes to your book and what you're writing in it.
And what? Okay, and what do? You write their names on a post-it.
Write their names on a post-it, and then if somebody ridicules you and they make you sad, or you feel sad because of that, look at that post-it. If the person who ridiculed you's name is not on that post-it note, why are you letting it get to you?
Yeah.
Why are you giving them that power?
Those are not the important people.
Those are not the important people in respect to your book. And maybe not at all to you. You know, I'm sure they're important to somebody somewhere. And third piece of advice is start a file of lovely messages from people.
Nice.
Yeah, so I have such a file. I also have on the top of my bookcase behind us loads of cards that have been sent to me by my various clients and peers and people who I like and who like me. And I keep them up there deliberately, not to be... And also I've got like a couple of trophies from my pole dancing stuff as well. I don't keep them up there as like a big braggy, I am thing, although I am proud of them. I keep them up there because if somebody says something that upsets me, or I have a day where I just feel like I'm shit, I just turn around and go, oh, look, I'm not shit. People up there, they think I'm ace. And that's really cool. And that's also why I've got the books behind me here on my bookshelf, my clients' books, which is partly a brag. I'm not going to lie. And partly because I can look at that and be like, yeah, I'm really good at what I do.
Yeah.
I'm really good at what I do. And there is the proof. So that's really cool.
Nice affirmation.
Yes. So yeah, that's my 3 pieces of advice first of all. And then I want you to think about things like making sure you don't look like an amateur. Let's make it less likely that people will ridicule you at all. Because if you think about when you look at a book, if the cover looks really amateurish, if the insides look really amateurish,
if the font size is wrong and the margins are wrong
and the table of contents is wrong. I can't think of anyone who's ever done that with their printed book before. Although nobody's noticed. It's funny.
Spelling mistakes on the spine.
Shush. To be fair, 4 people missed that. So yes, that was mean. Don't ridicule me.
I wasn't ridiculing you. I was laying examples.
Chapter 20. I make these mistakes, listeners, so that you don't have to. Chapter 20 of my book will help you to not look like an amateur, which is really, really important. Don't give people the ammunition.
Yeah.
And I can help you with that kind of thing, by the way, the things that will trip you up when it comes to self-publishing. You could join my power hour at moxiebooks.co.uk/power hour and ask a question, and we have a great discussion at the end of every session.
Nice.
It's really cool. And okay, get help from your beta readers and other kind people who, before your book gets anywhere near going out into the wild, get people to help you make it as good as it can possibly be.
Yes. They will. The kind of people who are helping you will spot the things and go, "You probably don't want to say that." And
yes. Yeah. And that doesn't make sense. And could you expand on that? I want to hear a bit more about that. And I think this needs a bit more explanation. That kind of thing. Oh, another thing, and this was thanks to John. Hi, John.
Hi, John.
Pointed out this morning, how you ask for things matters. So don't ask for feedback, because that's when people will be like, "Oh, I don't like that," or "Oh, I thought it was great," which is not helpful. But if you ask for advice on how to make it better, that will get people thinking about it in a different way. And so people will read it with that in mind, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, I think it would work better if you swap these chapters around." Yeah. For example. So it's how you ask people for stuff is important. Ask the right people for feedback. Again, your target reader. Your beta readers have to be your target reader. The people that you ask for advice have to either be your target reader or experts in book writing and publishing. Not random people down the pub.
Indeed. Your mum might be lovely, but if she's not your target audience, her advice might not really fit.
Yeah, or your dad.
Sweet.
Ask the right questions as well, and that's something that I go through in my book as well. So if if you've got my book, you can go and have a look in the criticism section about how to ask for feedback, and there's a lot of questions that you can ask people. I've also got resources on the resources page of my website. You can get a copy of my book at moxiebooks.co.uk/buy the book.
Mm-hmm.
A shameless plug.
Or random Amazon Googling.
Or random Amazon Googling, yeah. And finally, just 4 really important mindset things. Really important mindset things. You have asked for the feedback, so use it.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask for feedback from people, if you ask for advice from people, that kind of preempts that feeling of, because when you get unsolicited feedback on the stuff that you've written, that's painful. It's like, well, who asked you? It's like when somebody says, oh, I don't like your haircut. It's like, why would you even say that?
Yeah.
Why would you even say that? It's like, I don't care what you think. But when you ask for somebody's opinion, do these trousers make my bum look massive? I actually want to know.
Yeah. So try not to be too emotional about it if you get the answer that
Exactly.
your bum does look big in these trousers.
Or I look like a chimney sweep, for example, that was unsolicited feedback, by the way.
No, I think it was. I think you asked me what you were like.
No.
Do you like these trousers? And I said, well, I think they make you look like a chimney sweep.
No, what happened was that you walked in from work, I was wearing these trousers, and you were like, nice trousers. How about you Dick Van Dyke it up a bit? They make you look like a chimney sweep, I think was your exact words.
I'm not sure it went down like that.
Unsolicited feedback. So yes, you have asked for the feedback, so you'll kind of preempt that defensiveness that you'll get when people tell you what they think of your stuff. It's like, I've asked for this because I want to make my book as good as it can be.
Mm-hmm.
So use it. Separate your work from who you are.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Really important, because this is not otherwise any criticism that you receive, you will take super personally as a criticism of yourself. It isn't about criticizing you as a person and who you are. It is about improving the book that you wrote.
Yeah.
Really important to separate yourself from your art, from your creation. Really important. Difficult to do.
Difficult not to take it personally when people
Yeah.
say this doesn't work or that it's not right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And finally, when you receive the criticism, allow yourself 5 minutes to be upset about it. If you want to be, that's fine. You can't, you feel what you feel, and I'm not here to tell you that what you feel is invalid, because it isn't. But if you're upset about it, that's not helpful. It's like, be upset, but don't stay upset, because that's not helpful. Instead, read it objectively and figure out, is this actually useful advice? And if it is, receive it in the spirit in which it was undoubtedly intended, which is to help you make your book better, which is what you asked for. If it's not helpful, just be like, you know what? Thank you, I don't agree, I'm going to put that to one side. Because not everybody gets it right. Not all of the criticism that I got loads of advice when I wrote my book. I did not use it all, I didn't take it all because I didn't agree with all of it. And that's up to me, it's my book. I used a lot of it because most of it was awesome. And all of it was sent with good intent as well. And that's what I have to remember. So yeah, allow yourself a few minutes to be upset about it if you want to. That's fine. If you're upset, don't, that's not invalid. It is what it is. But use it. Use the feedback. Use the advice to make your book better. And finally, and this is another super, super helpful, useful thing, put your work out there free of expectations. Because when you put your work out there with the expectation that people are going to love it and people are going to send me a review and people are going to buy it, that's a lot of pressure on yourself and on other people, and nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you a living, nobody owes you a good review, nobody owes you a few quid to buy your book, and nobody owes you their clientshood. That's not even a word, is it?
Clienthood?
Customer
I don't think so.
done.
Customer done, yeah, that's it. Custom.
There you go, sure. Nobody owes you their custom. But yeah, nobody owes you anything, and all you can do is put out your work with the best of intentions and as best as you can. And you can market it as well as you can. And after that, you can't do anything. There's nothing you can do. Yeah. Which brings us to possibly the most important thing of all, particularly right now. Focus only on what you can control.
Okay.
Because anything else is a waste of your time and energy. So a few things that you can't control.
Other people's reactions.
Yes. You put stuff out there, hope that people will like it. You can't control how they react to it. You just can't. If you get them on a bad day, they might get really angry. That's not your problem.
Yeah.
Other things you can't control, the economy.
Indeed.
Idiot politicians.
You cannot control them.
Global
pandemics?
Global pandemics. We cannot control global pandemics, and nor can we control whether other people choose to wear a mask or not.
Which they should.
Which they should. We cannot control the weather.
No. If we could, it would be a little bit cooler in here right now.
Just a little bit. So yeah, those are all things that we can't control. Flies. The presence of flies in my life. Cannot control those things. Cannot control what other people think of your book or of you. All you could do is your best. Things you can control. Your decisions.
Your actions.
Your choices.
And the way you react.
Yes. All of those things we can control. And so focus on those things. It's like, yeah, keep an eye on what's going on outside and what other people are doing, but, you know, put your attention on doing what you can do best, which is improving your writing, putting the best book out there. Focus on what you can control.
Yeah.
I think that's the best takeaway for this episode.
I think so. Focus on what you can control.
Yes. Have we said it enough times?
Focus on what you can control.
Awesome. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Excellent.
Well, we have a review to read out, Joe.
Oh,
you can do
okay.
it. Yeah, this one here.
Okay. 5 stars. A must listen for anyone running their own business. 5 stars. Discovering Vicky Fraser is one of the best things to happen to my business. The podcast is brilliant. I always come away thinking about things differently. The really great thing is Vicky doesn't just share her ideas and insights, but backs everything up with research and evidence. Looking forward to the next one. And that was from GenCat101.
Yeah. Thank you very much, GenCat101.
Thank you very much, GenCat101.
Yeah, that was a really nice review. If you would like to leave us a review, we would be so super grateful because the way that Apple's iTunes algorithms work, the more recent reviews you get on more recent episodes, the better visibility we get. And so it would really super help us out. Won't cost you anything except for a couple of minutes. We would really, really appreciate it. Also, it makes us really happy.
It does, and we'll read you out.
We'll read you out, and we'll if you tell me who you are and where you've come from, I will also read out your URL and stuff and give you a bit of a plug. So absolutely we'll do. That's not in return for a review. Just to make that clear, this is not a bribe, but I like to give people a shout out. So,
Yeah.
And
Nice to be nice.
You are part of this podcast as well. It would be nice if we could read people's names out. That would be awesome. So yeah, you can do that, by the way, at moxiebooks.co.uk/podcast. And then there's a little button that will take you to review it. Coming up next week, I don't know. I've got down more writing excuses, but I feel like we need to move on.
All right.
I don't know. What do you think? Honestly, it's so hot I can't think.
I'm done. I'm cooked.
I mean, maybe we'll talk about the excuse I'm not a writer. Or maybe we'll talk about something else. Tune in to find out.
Who the hell knows? It's a mystery.
Tune in to find out. And in the meantime, if you want to write a book, join my live writing sessions at moxiebooks.co.uk/power hour. At the moment, it's £1, one whole pound for the first 7 days.
£1.
And you get 5 writing sessions during those first 7 days, plus the recording, plus a discussion with the most amazing group of people that I put together.
Cool.
Really smart people. And I'm getting so many good feedbacks.
We are hearing nice things.
Yeah, really nice things. And people are getting stuff done. Like people saying they've got more done in 4 hours than they have done in 4 weeks.
And it's not just for writing a book, is it? It's for any kind of concentrated, focused, sit down, get this done.
Yeah, people are writing their entire week's worth of emails and on a Monday morning. They're writing newsletters, they're writing articles, they're writing blogs, they're writing books. And they're also planning as well and researching. So it's, a focused hour to do stuff.
Works well.
I'm writing mini books at the moment. It's really cool. So yeah, come and join us. Come and join us for that because it's ace. And we'll be back same time next week. Thanks so much for listening as always. Thanks, Joe.
No worries.
Yeah, have fun. Stay safe. Stay well.
Wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
Bye.
Bye!
Thanks for listening. You can find links and show notes on the website at moxiebooks.co.uk/podcast, where you can also sign up for the best daily emails in the multiverse and find loads of free resources to help you write your book. We'll be back the same time next week with more tales from the book writing trenches and the latest on what the tiny sheeps have been up to.
Hello.
Hello and welcome to the 1000 Authors Show. What's the matter?
We haven't tested the microphone. You don't know how loud it's going to be. You might get to the end of the podcast and discover that it's just like 28 minutes of really quiet mumbling.
I don't think so.
Bet now.